Ladies and gentlemen, good day and welcome to the Q2 FY22 earnings conference call of Gayatri Projects Limited. As a reminder, all participant lines will be in listen-only mode, and there will be an opportunity for you to ask questions after the presentation concludes. Should you need assistance during the conference call, please signal an operator by pressing star, then 0 on your touchtone phone. Please note that this conference is being recorded. I now hand the conference over to Ms. Sheetal Kanduja. Thank you, and over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Stephen. Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Gayatri Projects Limited earnings call to discuss the Q2 FY22 results. We have on the call Mr. Sandeep Reddy, Managing Director of the company. We must remind you that the discussion on today's call may include certain forward-looking statements and must be therefore viewed in conjunction with the risks that the company faces. May I now request Mr. Sandeep Reddy to take us through the company's business outlook and financial highlights, subsequent to which we will open the floor for Q&A. Thank you, and over to you, sir.
Yeah, thank you, Sheetal. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for taking out time to join us for our Q2 FY22 earnings call. I hope you have seen the earnings presentation which has been uploaded on the exchange. I will start with some important updates before discussing the Q2 performance. I'd like to start with updates regarding equity infusion in the company. As you are aware that we have been struggling with liquidity constraints for the last 1.5 to 2 years. In the last quarter, we announced a preferential allotment to a strategic investor. The company is following up to conclude the deal. Regarding the Varanasi Sultanpur road project issue, we have completed majority of the rectification work and have started the paperwork process with NHAI for the reversal of the order. Coming to our key project of Purvanchal Expressway, we have received a provisional date of completion of package 2 and expect to receive the same by month end for package 1. We are expecting a bonus on both the packages, which will be around 5 to 6% of the total project cost of around 3,000 crores. At our other key project sites, there has been an impact on execution on account of stretched liquidity situation and heavy monsoon. Coming to our performance this quarter, Q2 is usually a weak quarter. However, our revenues are marginally up, driven by early completion of Purvanchal Expressway. Gross margins, however, were significantly impacted due to commodity price inflation. This quarter saw key raw material like steel, cement, HSD, bitumen, metal costing 15% higher. We expect some of it will come back through escalation. This quarter also saw multiple extraordinary hits which also impacted our gross margins. In Varanasi, there was an excess interest on mobilization advance cost of 15 crores. We have been incurring substantial cumulative losses in the NHAI Varanasi projects, primarily due to a delay of 2-3 years in land acquisition. This is on NHAI's account, and we are expecting to recover that and corresponding carried costs claims to be filed soon. The BG commission charges increased from 1.25% to 3% due to our NPA situation. There was a one-time expense of 50 crores due to a project termination. Most of these cost escalations will normalize in line with the contractual terms, and extraordinary hits are likely to be recovered through claims and arbitration process. I will briefly touch upon the liquidity situation and how we are addressing the same. Promoters are in advanced discussion on personal asset monetization, which will infuse capital into the company to help mitigate liquidity tightness. On account of tight cash flow situation, company has defaulted in repayment to lenders due to non-realization of expected receivables as of 30th September, and total outstanding dues to lenders are 541 crores. Company is in discussion with banks to restructure the debt repayment schedule to align with the expected cash flows. Company expecting cash flows from early completion bonus for Purvanchal Expressway, which should be close to 140 to 160 crores. Arbitration awards out of the 700 crores, expecting about 200 to 300 crores by March 2022. With this, I'd like to open the floor for questions.
Thank you very much. We will now begin the question and answer session. Anyone who wishes to ask a question may press star and 1 on their touchtone phone. If you wish to remove yourself from the question queue, you may press star and 2. Participants are requested to use handsets while asking a question. Ladies and gentlemen, we will wait for a moment while the question queue assembles. The first question is from the line of Geeta Naik from Value Investment. Please go ahead.
Good afternoon, sir. Thank you for the opportunity. So I have a few questions. So what is the status of Sai Mata Rani arbitration?
Yeah, you want me to answer each question? Yeah, Sai Mata Rani, basically we are doing the CCI settlement with NHAI. We are hoping that there will be a settlement we're expecting by I think next 3 months. In fact, it got delayed for about 2-3 months because of COVID, and NHA is now in advanced stage of settling the thing. That is basically a termination payment to the lenders and some claim payment to Gayatri, actually.
Okay. So I also see there are multiple new, exceptional items, and I believe you said that you will plan to take the claims to the arbitration route. So won't this be a very long process?
Which one?
When you said that there are multiple exceptional items, like in your opening comments, I believe you said something about the Varanasi project, and you plan to take the claim.
We are going to submit the arbitration claim now. See, basically, NHA has now come with this new policy. See, there are two ways of doing. Either you go to arbitration and go on the court process, which itself will take 2-3 years. But NHA has started this reconciliation CCIE. Reconciliation with a special committee, which they have been settling all the claims, and it's a very fast process, maximum 6 to 8 months process actually.
So all your projects will go through the latter process?
No, not all projects. Like Varanasi is a major claim. So once you complete, NHA has now set framework in place, which can, it is still less. If you can, withstand liquidity and go wait for arbitration and win against it, it'll be much more money. But it's a more win-win on both sides, that you can get the money early, and it is also NHA also saves some money. So they are actually aggressively settling. Actually, we have already settled about nearly 200 crores worth of claims last year. Actually, in the CCI.
Right, and so realistically, when do you expect all the other claims of arbitration to materialize, if you are going
I told you that, see, we have about 540 claims of arbitration awards which are in there, and other 700 crores in various, these are different clients, state governments and other things. So NHAI, we will be submitting only the Varanasi, which will be a major claim, we will be submitting shortly. So that will get settled also. So the other claims, as I told you, we are expecting before March about 100 to about 200 crores. And the balance, I think, in the next 2 years. See, what happened, most of the legal process got delayed because of COVID. Because all the courts were not working with full thing, all the online. Now only the courts are coming back to normalcy. So I think the legal process will speed up now.
So around 200 to 400 crores by March 2022, right?
No, yeah.
Yeah, okay, perfect. I think that's all from my side for now. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Palak Chopra from Kapoor Capital and Private Limited. Please go ahead.
Hi. So actually, I wanted to know that what is the status of strategic investor, and when are we expecting to close the deal?
So the strategic investor, we are in close associate contact with him. He is having some issues there, I think some structural issues in America. So he's a US-based investor. So basically, they were, I think, pooling retirement assets in America, and he's a list of investors. Somewhere he has faced some roadblock in some structuring issues. So he said that maybe in the next 2-3 weeks maximum he will complete is what he has assured us now.
Okay. So, sir, wouldn't it be prudent to accept that this deal might not go through?
But he has not. If it doesn't go to, we are also alternatively talking to other investors also now, preliminary, in case this deal doesn't go through. But the investor is very confident of completing the deal shortly, actually.
Okay, sir. And also, has this investor closed any other deal in India, if you're aware about that?
No, we are not aware of it. I have no idea.
Okay. And sir, also, what is plan B in case this deal doesn't go through? Like, what other investments are you looking at?
No, we are talking to other strategic investors also. There were some couple of Middle Eastern investors. It's very preliminary actually. I can't, when I think it comes to some fruit, we can come out. But in the meantime also we are discussing with the banks for restructuring some of the repayments so that to align with the cash flows.
Right. Thank you, sir. That was very helpful. That's all from my end.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Amanjit Singh from Oculus Capital. Please go ahead.
Yeah, sir, am I audible?
Yeah.
Yeah, so just on the strategic investors, so what kind of structural issues are they facing, sir?
Yeah, no idea. He has sent it from there, but he's having some, I think, source issues from his strategic investors in the US. It's nothing to do with us. He said he's having structural investment, but he has not shared all his internal details with us. So I can't answer that. So
when you say source issues, you mean pooling of funds into his own fund, you mean?
No, he has sent the money. He has also given us the proof of sending through the bank wire details. But the wire got stuck in some Fed wire investigation issue of his funds or something like that. So that is getting sorted out, is what he was saying.
So when you say wired, they wired the money to Gayatri Projects?
Yes, they are supposed to wire directly as per the terms that from US directly. Because the
you already received the money, right? Is it? You're saying it's already received the money?
No, we have not received the money.
Okay. Sir, in the presentation it's mentioned about personal assets monetization. Sir, could you throw some color and what is the value that we are, looking at?
No, we are looking at a couple of 100 crores actually to infusion.
Okay. Sir, any timeline or something, and is that contingent on the strategic investor not happening or even irrespective?
We are working parallelly. Strategic investor is a parallel exercise. We are very keen to revive the company, and I think in the next couple of months we are able to put this money in.
Okay. Sir, there were a lot of one-offs in these times margins. So when do you think that you'll get back to your 12-13% EBITDA margins? Will you come back in the next quarter itself?
I think hopefully by this quarter, because what happened was, one-off is that one was a project termination. That was another thing. The other issue is that once we achieve the banks come back to normalcy, then we'll go back to the normal rate of the margin commission for bank guarantees, and the commodity prices I think are now slowly coming back. See, what happened was our escalation is paid based on 1 quarter before that. The escalation formula is not fully covering the commodity prices. But now, for example, recently diesel has come down. So like that, I think once they taper down a little, the things improve. And also some sites, because of this extra monsoon and the liquidity issues, the less progress that they were also, I think overheads and other things are adding up. So I think next quarter we should be able to come back to normalcy.
Okay. So in the paperwork that you filed with NHAI, so have you received any communication when they'll come and visit the site or something like that?
No, it doesn't work like that. See, basically we have already started consulting with the consultants. There's an independent consultant on site. Through the consultant, then there is a regional officer and a PD on the site. So they would actually are directly on the site. So they are verifying the day-to-day things, and then finally they have to send a recommendation to the head office. So they are in the process of compiling that now.
Okay, sir. I'll get back in the queue. Thank you, sir.
And also that thing is, materially is not so important right now, because basically that is only to stop us from bidding for new projects in NHAI. It doesn't stop us from other things. So right now we have an order book of 12 to 14,000 crores. So order is not our priority today.
Right. Sir, if I may just squeeze in one question. So what is the total amount of default that we are currently in, sir? I think it's a small amount, right?
Default actually is about default of for the banks, you mean?
Yes, we've been regularly filing with the stock markets. So those defaults, sir.
Yeah, that was about around 500 crores. Overdue actually, because some of it is guarantees which were invoked and all that.
Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Before we take the next question, a reminder to the participants, anyone who wishes to ask a question may press star and 1 on their touchtone telephone. The next question is from the line of Shrishti from Wellwin Consulting. Please go ahead.
Yeah, hi sir, and thanks for the opportunity. I just wanted to know the status of other larger projects like Mumbai to Nagpur, and do we have enough working capital to execute that project?
Mumbai Nagpur is on track actually. In fact, the project should complete by I think March to June actually. The majority of the project will complete by March.
Okay. Okay. And do we have enough working capital, for that? So,
yeah, for that project, yeah.
Yeah, okay. And given that we are facing the liquidity crisis, and so which all projects will be fast-tracked, and will there be any penalties if these are delayed and not fast-tracked?
There is no penalty because see, most of the projects we got extension of time and we are completing. But only problem is that we have irrigation projects and in Karnataka, Andhra and Telangana where we have huge amount of receivables, more than 400-500 crores. That is where the stress is for us. So those projects, I think, will start easing out from now November onwards, is what they were saying. Because COVID has affected the state government finances completely. They have, the last 7 months, they have not been paying actually.
Yeah. Okay.
But the project will execute. There is no penalty or that risk is not there at all.
Okay. Okay, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Shivom Revankar from Shivom Revankar INC. Please go ahead.
We understand that we aren't able to bid for NHAI projects, but what about Jal Jeevan Mission and those kind of other irrigation, and there's a lot of sectors.
We can bid for those projects. There's no, we have one, in fact, Jal Jeevan Mission, we have already, order book is at nearly 4,000 crores. So, right now there are no tenders coming out of Jal Jeevan Mission. We are executing the existing orders. Once they come, probably we are expecting maybe the new orders will come after March actually, is the expectation.
Okay. And to strengthen the bidding process, are the employees at Gayatri, particularly civil engineers, are they offered charterships and those kind of professional qualifications?
I don't think, I didn't understand your question. Chartership or professional qualification from where?
No, there is a standard recognition for charterships once it is achieved from the Institution of Engineers or some professional body.
There is no requirement as far as we are concerned. Because most of our projects, basically there is a list of engineers and like project manager and material engineer with some experience. Those have to be approved by the client. So those have to be put for the pre-qualification of projects also, which are on our rolls actually. Project manager, there is a particular CV the track record of a project manager or the past track, how much he has completed, and he qualifies to be a project manager. That's how it works. There is no special charter or something required actually in any of the projects what we are bidding.
And another thing was slightly different from what I'm asking. Rajiv Reddy, one of your son, and Anirudh, both of them, also lead a company called Insight, and a lot of its resources were also told to be deployed with Gayatri. It uses IoT and those technologies to improvise your construction processes.
Of course. In fact, all our equipment, we use IoT devices and we are having online progress review and all that because of that. So we are able to, basically that technology what we have used is used to compile the day-to-day progress into our ERP. So we have an ERP system on each side, but the daily progress normally would have been early in normal circumstance in a linear project would have been input by manually. But now most of the major projects we have, like in our Odisha project and all that, through these devices we get the input working hours and all the equipment data, and then that gets input automatically into the ERP actually.
So in terms of optimizing, in terms of cost, if we see what is the saving in terms of percentage using these advanced technologies?
We have seen so much cost, we are not able to rectify it. It became more of a easier thing to monitor the projects. So we can't really put a cost to that, cost benefit to that as of now.
Fine. That's it from my side.
Thank you. A reminder to the participants, anyone who wishes to ask a question may press star and 1 at this time. The next question is from the line of Anil Sharma from AB Capital. Please go ahead.
Yeah, hi sir. Thanks for the opportunity. Just one thing in terms of restructuring, you mentioned in your initial comments briefly about the restructuring thing.
Yeah.
So what kind of restructuring terms are we trying to work out with the banks? And
we are still in the initial stage. We have actually appointed one of the big four firms. They are advising us, and we are in the process of, they're still working. They have not yet concluded anything.
So any timelines on that, sir?
I think next 3 months the restructuring should be completed.
Okay. And are working capital limits still operational given our default and NPA status?
Yeah, they are operational. Yeah.
Okay. And so we are hearing that the raw material suppliers have, actually encouraged our BG. So how are we supposed to fund the higher BG cost, and what's our strategy in terms of the project executions over there?
No, some raw material, see, because of the cash flow mismatch, because we normally give raw material like, for example, steel, cement and all, they give a credit terms and we give a BG. The credit period got extended beyond because of the cash flow got affected because of COVID and the cycle. So some of the BG, we had to pay them back by encashing the BG.
Okay. And anything in terms of new projects that we are bidding, are we in a position to bid for new ones? And if you can provide the revenue guidance.
We are not bidding. In fact, there are not much of bidding. In fact, most of the NHA projects which are coming out are all HAM projects, and we are not bidding for HAM. And other where we are in water projects, as you know, we have only won this projects of nearly 5,000 crores in the last 2 or 3 quarters. So we are concentrating on consolidating those water projects, and then we'll start bidding once we are able to do little better progress there. And coming to irrigation projects, there's not much of any irrigation tenders out actually, because none of the state governments have any money. In fact, everything got pushed because of COVID second wave actually.
And sir, I also asked regarding the revenue guidance for full year. So if you can provide.
Sorry?
Revenue guidance for full year.
Revenue guidance could be like last year or little, maybe 10% more than last year.
Okay. And sir, just lastly, one thing coming back to that restructuring thing, is it possible that someone can take us to NCLT as well?
No, not really. In fact, we have been actively discussing with all the banks. So they don't realize, because NCLT is not the solution for them, because we are a liquidity-driven company. See, when banks find that you are completely insolvent, then they are going to NCLT, because they know that and also in EPC companies, the percentage of recovery for them is very negligible because they are not much of assets. So we have no issue. We are only more of a cash flow mismatch and a liquidity issue. So banks also would like to recover as much as possible. Why will they need to go to NCLT actually?
Okay. Okay. Thanks for the opportunity, sir. Thank you.
Yeah.
And all the best. Yeah.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, as there are no further questions, I now hand the conference over to the management for their closing comments.
Yeah. So thank you for joining us on the call today. I do hope we have been able to satisfactorily address your queries. In case you have any pending or follow-on queries, please contact the team at Go India, and they will be able to address any questions you may have. Thanks for your support and time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of Go India Advisors, that concludes this conference. We thank you all for joining us, and you may now disconnect your lines.